Hi, I'm Liz with Toth Properties, powered by EXP Realty. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm a residential real estate agent in the Raleigh-Durham area, and I specialize in working with both buyers and sellers. Today's seller tip, I am back at Homewood Nursery, a beautiful place in North Raleigh. If you haven't been here, you should definitely stop by. And I'm here with Tina today from Homewood Nursery. And we've been here before. We did a video about curb appeal and how you add curb appeal to your home when you're getting it ready for sale. That was in the spring and summer. We're now getting into the fall and winter. So Tina is going to give us an update as to how you should add curb appeal to your home, the front of your home, when you are getting ready to list in the fall and winter, because we do know that people still need to sell their homes in the fall and winter. So Tina, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Welcome back. Welcome back to Homewood.
So you were mentioning one of the things that folks can do is spruce up their front door and the front of their home, and you said some of the stuff was over here, so tell me about what you have planned.
Yeah, so one of the best ways is to have a really pretty fall container garden. A lot of people will do a spring container garden to go through summer, and now's a great time to change that out and to add fresh plants to it. One example would be something like this with seasonal flowers like asters, pansies, mums, that you can switch out and have fresh color in front of the house. There's so many ways to do this too. It can be small, it can be big. You could do, if you don't have a lot of room, you could do like a hanging basket, and you can add fun little seasonal elements to it, like pumpkins and little decorations, gnomes. You guys know who you are. And then it can come into being a really colorful thing, or it can be more sedate and more evergreen. So there's different ways to do it. And there's a basic formula for this. And the basic formula, we call it thriller, filler, and spiller. So the general idea is you have a big thrilling piece, something that's a big statement piece or a big fountain-like piece. You have things that fill around it, and then you spill. And so once you know that, and you know your sun and your shade conditions, you can pick seasonal plants that go together, use that formula, and it's almost foolproof. You know, you can just plug and play a little bit and walk around and enjoy picking out plants that you like, that go together.
So this is great information, and I know a lot of sellers will appreciate it. But if anyone is like me, I don't know anything about plants. My grandma would be so disappointed. I have no idea how to put something like that together. I would love to. Can you share how someone would do that?
Definitely. And I'd go back to what I said about starting with like the thriller, filler, spiller idea. And always, you know, when you're in a garden center too, feel free to ask us, because we know the plants, we know what we have, we know what's coming in, and we can walk around and show you options for, like, okay, you have no sun at all. All right, well, this is what you can do here. Oh, you have deer coming right up to your containers. You're not going to have pansies, you know, that kind of thing. So that can help. But like this, for example, kind of illustrates some of what I was talking about, where you have sort of a thriller element, you have some filler, and then we're going to have trailing pansies coming down over the pot, and this trailing creeping Jenny coming down. So and then another thing that we've done here with this and all the other containers is we have alternated not just color, but like texture. You know, we have a big, huge, lacy cabbage here, and then you have this little pop of color right here, and then you have an opposing pop of color with the blue to go with it. You have this silvery dusty miller that contrasts with it. Heucheras are a great plant for this. They come in so many colors: lime green and pale yellow, peach, salmon, rose, these burgundies, and they can go with so many things. And so a lot of times I like to start with an element that I love. And let's say I came along and was like, oh my gosh, I love this heuchera. That's what I want. This has to be in there. Well, I'll start with that, put it in the wagon, and then I'll walk around and go like, then this could be a nice thriller to go with this. I love that, you know, and then I'll add on to it and I'll say, well, what do I have? The heuchera, this mum could look really nice. They kind of go together. It's an autumn pairing of colors, and you know, they kind of go with each other. Or if a plant has a color that kind of picks up on another color in the plant, this might work because it's got a lot of this rosy tone on the back side of the leaf. So this dianthus could be another one that could go in there with the mum or any other thing that you find that you like.
That's beautiful. That would be absolutely beautiful, actually.
I'm glad you like that. I love the dianthus because they do bloom for quite a long time, and then they come back in spring and they bloom again. So they're kind of similar to pansies in that regard. And a lot of them are perennials, so they come back year after year, which is really nice. You don't have to change them out. Oh, I wanted to say other too, along the lines of don't neglect the idea of maybe using some evergreen plants in there sometimes, because that can kind of carry you through, and then it can maybe become something that's like a permanent feature in the pot that you kind of work around, so you're not always having to change out everything. And a lot of people kind of like these for that reason, and also because they can kind of be just a subtler combination of things. And there's a lot of interesting ones that, I mean, we get them seasonally, we don't have them necessarily year round, but if you had a really small bowl, this could be your thriller. And then this adorable little holly could be one of your fillers, you know, and then you could have this pop of yellow from this false cypress, and that could be the basis for a container, and then you could find something that weeps with it to go over the edge of the pot.
That sounds awesome. And it sounds like there are so many great options for a container garden. You could really make it unique and kind of spruce it up and have colors that coordinate with the front of your home or your front door, things like that.
Absolutely. So many options and variations you can do.
Awesome, thank you. So we wanted to stop quickly here at the pumpkins. Like, you guys have the most amazing selection of pumpkins. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have here.
Yeah, it's great. The selection in pumpkins and gourds has just gotten massive in the last several years, and because people have been so interested in just something beyond, you know, a big orange pumpkin, which is wonderful and actually can sometimes be nice to have as your basis. And then you can, I mean, this is your gig, like add and subtract as you like. But I mean, more is more with pumpkins, that is very true. But stacking them up and creating arrangements of them around your container gardens is a great way to add seasonal flair to the front of the house and add more of a welcoming feel. It just kind of helps with the whole composition of the thing. And as you can see, there are some really wild and woolly gourds and pumpkins available out there, but there's even just really beautiful, like, I just think that's so like antique and classic and beautiful looking. They just go naturally together with your container gardens, your mums and your pansies at the front of the house.
It can really make your house look like fall, for sure. So we wandered over here and we're by the garden flags and wreaths. So tell us a little bit about what Homewood offers as far as that. And again, we're focusing on the front of the home and the front door mainly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Everybody loves to change their wreaths out with the seasons. And so when you're doing your container garden and you're doing your pumpkins and your mums, adding a wreath to your door is going to be a beautiful way to accent your seasonal arrangements and decor. And then also think about painting your door, honestly, because if you're getting ready to sell the house, or even if you just bought it, I mean, but for the season, if you're putting all the effort into doing this entranceway, then you could paint the door a color that goes with all of this and really makes it pop.
Definitely, and adding a brand new welcome mat is always something that my stager recommends as well. So it will really help make the front of the home pop. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one of the other things you can think about doing is like a garden flag or other types of garden decor and ornaments. And this could be at the porch or somewhere along the front beds of the house, but also over at the mailbox is one of the traditional areas. And speaking of mailboxes, all of the plants that we talked about when we were talking about container gardens, all of those are great. Most of them are great for your mailbox garden, and that's a great way to refresh and make the house more seasonal and, you know, just give you that curb appeal. So if you have prospective buyers coming, then that's one of the first things they see. And if you have a beautiful composition of these big cabbages that look like roses and colorful pansies and silvery dusty miller and all that stuff put together, it's really pretty, and it's a really nice way to welcome and say, hey, new buyer, potential buyer, you know, check me out. This is, you know, a pretty house.
One of the things you had mentioned to me earlier, Tina, that this is a great time of year for either homeowners or folks who are getting ready to sell their home to plant shrubs and trees. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have to offer.
Yeah, right now is one of the best times to plant hardy plants, so trees, shrubs, and perennials that'll come through winter well, and that's most of the stuff that you're going to find outdoors. And a lot of people come in to refresh at least their foundation plantings along the front of the house. So when they're selling the house, you know, some of the shrubs have aged out or gotten damaged or just not looking so great anymore. And so they'll refresh that with them. And this is a great time to do that because all of those plants are going to put on most of their root growth right now. And then they're going to get a little break through winter and not have to go through a Carolina summer. And then in spring they'll do a little bit more root growth, and then they go through summer. And so that's one of the reasons why it's such a great time to plant. And you will find a lot of selection on things this time of year for that. And for example, right now is a great time to plant a dogwood. They actually do better when you plant them in fall. than when you plant them in spring. A lot of people shop for them in spring because that's when they're thinking about them, but actually they do better when you plant them in fall. And so now's a good time to think about adding that stuff. Sometimes adding a nice little specimen tree, a small tree like a Japanese maple or a flowering dogwood, can really enhance the front of the house, along with refreshing the shrubbery. And there's sometimes also, well, there is seasonal plants now that will enhance the fall landscape, things like ornamental grasses, beauty berries, which are producing berries now, hollies are starting to get ready to color up. And so there's other things you can do to kind of enhance, even though it's not high spring and you don't have as much color choices, there's still things you can add to the landscape to spruce it up now if you're getting ready to sell.
Tina, thank you so much. You've shared so much with us today, but you did mention that there's a couple other things that you can do to really put that finishing touch on your home and really make that curb appeal pop. What are those things?
So the last few things, lawn care, mulching, and cleaning out under your shrubs. So we're getting towards the end of the season for lawn care right now. If you have a cool season lawn like fescue, you can overseed it now. That's a good time to do it and get it going now. If you have a warm season lawn like Bermuda grass or zoysia, you can either let it just go dormant and be that tan color through winter, or you can overseed it with some annual ryegrass if you want to have green through the winter. But now would be a good time to get going on that. And then mulch always finishes the landscape, neatens it. It's like the wrapping paper on the present, the bow, it pulls it all together. It makes the landscape look neat, tidy, clean. If you have really old mulch, you might just want to pull it out and replace it all with fresh, or sometimes you can just go over with another like ½ inch or inch of fresh stuff just to tidy it up. Tidy up the edges of the beds. You can do that simply with a spade, or sometimes it's a string trimmer, whatever it is, but to kind of get some clean edges on your garden beds, that'll make it look really nice. And then one of the last things that a lot of people don't think about is cleaning out underneath the shrubbery. If you have old shrubs and old plants, they accumulate leaves and debris and pine needles and all that kind of stuff. And you don't really see it because you come home every day and it's like the wallpaper. You're not really noticing it, but it's something that will make a big difference if you have a lot of debris and stuff under there. To get it out, clean it out, and put down that fresh layer of mulch. It'll really spiff it up nicely.
That's great. That's such great information. I know the sellers appreciate that information. A lot of folks contact me looking for how to get their house ready for sale. It's also great information if someone has just purchased a home and they're wanting to spruce up their brand new home.
Definitely.
So thank you so much for that information. Sure. Tina, tell us about Homewood and how people would find you and the kind of information you guys have available on your website.
Yep. Homewood is in North Raleigh, and you can find all about Homewood, all the plants and products and services we offer at our website, which is homewoodnursery.com. We also have a lot of gardening information and plant lists on the website, so feel free to go check that out. There's a Learn tab at the top there when you get on the home page, and we've got all kinds of lists for all kinds of situations, whatever you're trying to do in your yard, whether you want a screening for privacy, or you have a really damp area and you need to put plants for damp areas there, or you have a lot of deer and you're trying to find plants to plant that the deer won't eat. So check that out, and you can sign up for our mailing lists. We send out mailings and we have email newsletters, and we also have text alerts. So if you just want to know when's the sales, you can just sign up for text alerts.
That's great information. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it so much, and thank you for watching our video today. If you want more seller tips, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're a buyer who is looking in the area and you're interested in Raleigh and Durham, you can also check out my YouTube channel for community tours and information on cities in the area. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.